You pay rent on time, cover utilities, and manage cash responsibly. But when you apply for a standard credit card, you are rejected because the system has no record of your reliability. To a banking algorithm, having no credit is statistically similar to having bad credit. Without a history of successful repayments, the software cannot calculate your risk, so it defaults to a denial. This lack of data has tangible costs. Landlords may bypass your rental application for an applicant with a score, and lenders will likely charge higher interest rates on auto loans or deny access to reward earning cards. One common suggestion is to become an authorized user. This involves attaching your name to a parent or partner's established credit card to incorporate their history into your own file. This method carries significant legal liabilities. You inherit the primary user's financial habits with zero control over the account. If they miss a payment, your score takes the hit. If you remove yourself to stop the damage, your credit history vanishes, returning your score to zero. Banks use these initial accounts as a data collection phase to verify your repayment habits before granting you a higher credit line. This chart shows the classic beginner's loop. A lack of credit history leads to a denied application, preventing you from building history. Moving past this loop requires providing the bank with collateral that offsets their risk. The first exit is a cash deposit. You provide the bank with liquid capital that they hold in reserve. The second exit is a banking relationship. You concentrate your checking and savings at one institution so they can verify your cash on hand internally. The third exit is alternative data. You grant a lender read access to your banking history so their software can analyze your income and spending patterns directly. To generate your first credit score, you must choose which asset you are willing to trade: your liquid cash, your banking loyalty, or your financial privacy. We can evaluate these starter cards by comparing upfront costs, approval requirements, and graduation speed. The optimizer path is led by the Chase Freedom Rise. Approval is significantly more likely if you keep $250 in a Chase account. You must move your daily banking into their system to secure approval. For those keeping their existing bank, Discover It's Secured offers a path. A $200 deposit acts as your limit, and after 7 months, the bank returns it and upgrades you. These methods require you to lock up temporary liquid capital to establish the trust required by banking algorithms. If you lack the cash for a deposit, the Tilt Motion Visa represents an alternative path. Tilt uses alternative underwriting, looking at your income and expenses through your linked bank account rather than relying on a FICO score. This removes the $200 deposit hurdle, but requires you to share your detailed transaction history with the issuer. Approval depends on maintaining a positive cash flow. The algorithm checks to ensure you consistently earn more than you spend before it issues the card. When you lack the capital to secure an account, your financial data and privacy become your primary leverage. Approval is only the beginning of a sensitive management phase. Because a new credit profile has very little data, minor changes in your spending can cause large fluctuations in your score. You must manage your credit utilization, which is the percentage of your limit you use each month. The CFPB recommends keeping this under 30%. On a card with a $200 limit, spending just $61 moves you into a high-risk utilization zone, which can lower your score. You are responsible for monitoring your new profile through annualcreditreport.com to ensure your payments are being reported accurately to all 3 bureaus. If you find an error, you must lead the dispute process with Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion to have the algorithmic mistake corrected. Holding a starter card requires strict monthly administrative oversight, where low limits demand constant attention to your statement balance to avoid damaging your score. Choosing the right card depends on which asset you can afford to leverage right now. Use this decision tree to find your path. Start with the central question: what is your strongest financial asset? If you have at least $250 in cash savings that you can spare, the Discover It's Secured or Chase Freedom Rise are the most reliable options. They use your liquidity to establish a FICO score in about 6 to 7 months. If you have a steady income but no spare cash for a security deposit, the Tilt Motion Visa allows you to bypass the deposit requirement by analyzing your existing banking history instead. If you do not have a traditional bank account or are managing a history of financial setbacks, the OpenSky Secured Card bypasses credit checks and bank requirements entirely. It charges an annual fee, but it provides access when other algorithmic paths are closed. Applying for cards that don't match your current assets leads to unnecessary denials that further thin your credit file. Your current assets determine your starting point, but your monthly discipline with that first card determines how quickly you qualify for standard loans and competitive interest rates.